Welcome to Networking RX, a podcast devoted to helping business professionals like you enhance your networking skills in order to become more proficient giving and receiving quality business referrals and improving the overall quality of your life and the lives of those around you. The Networking RX podcast is a production of AmSpirit Business Connections, an organization whose mission is to empower business success through networking.
Welcome to the Networking RX podcast. I'm your host, Frank Agan, founder and president of AmSpirit Business Connections. Today, I have another great guest on. As our subscribers know, often on this podcast, I'll be sharing ideas, insights, and best practices for building professional relationships and excelling at business networking. Occasionally, however, I will be interviewing subject matter experts, authors, speakers, social scientists, and these people share their insights to help us be better at the whole relationship game. Today I have on Charlie Timmons. Charlie is known as the Human Archaeologist, and he's a personal branding specialist, and he guides his clients in a number of different ways. And we're going to kind of jump in, but want to talk to him about his experience in working with his clients in helping them build a trusted network of advocates, the Go-Giver way. Charlie, welcome.
Thank you, Frank. Great to see you. Glad to be here.
Well, good. So I guess give us the nickel tour of who you are and what you do and how you got to this place.
Well, Frank, I believe that we all have gifts. We have talents. We have superpowers that when we put them into action, we can make great things happen for other people. However, most people don't understand what their superpowers are. That's because if they worked in corporate America, they're not allowed to use them. So they need to discover those if they're going to have the impact on the world they want. So I take them inside to discover what they are, what their values are, what they believe, what are their strengths, etc., because that's a predictor of what they'll be able to contribute in the future, whether they're working for themselves or working for somebody else. So the Human Archaeologist is that journey we take within to uncover those superpowers that can help a person just figure out what's next in their life. They've had the daily grind for many, many, many years. Now they reach a point in their life where they say, you know something, there's got to be more to life than this. And I help them discover what that is, put a game plan together to get it.
Great. You're a big fan of the Go-Giver. How'd that come about?
Shortly after the book was published in 2007, I was a part of a advisory group. We helped one another with our businesses. And we all read the book. And when we convened after reading the book and discussing it, the question was, well, how is this going to impact your business? I said, in 3 years, 90% of my business will be through referral only. Well, that's wonderful, Charlie. How much is your business dependent on referrals now? 10%. In 3 years, you're going to go from 10% to 90%? I said, yes. How? The Go-Giver way. And so that's where I first came in contact with that philosophy, that in order to really do well in life, you have to give with no expectation of an immediate return. But the way karma works, the way the universe works, it does come back to you in many, many different ways. So within 3 years, I was up to 90% of the referrals for my business came through people in my network. And I had to grow that network because it was small at the time.
Yeah. Well, it's that's an interesting story. Now, do you, in working with your clients, do you share that tale with them? Kind of continue on getting them to adopt the Go-Giver mindset?
Absolutely, it's required reading.
Okay.
Yes. Because again, in most of corporate America, that's not the philosophy.
Sure.
And when most people decide that it's time to leave or they're asked to leave, they go out into the world and they suddenly realize, I don't know a lot of people other than the ones with whom I worked. It's a huge world out there. We're all put here to serve other people. We have to find the people we're meant to serve, and other people can get us to those people. That's the referral network to which you referred, Frank.
Yeah. Do you get much pushback from clients? Or I would imagine some are quicker to adopt it or quicker to see that big picture than others.
Frank, yeah, absolutely right. Because it's not normal. It's not what they're accustomed to.
Yeah.
They don't have to go out and speak to strangers and get strangers interested in advocating on their behalf with other strangers. They're not used to that.
Yeah, that's certainly an issue. I've got an email or an interview coming up with a gentleman by the name of David Knorr, and he kind of runs. He goes into big companies. It sounds like you work more with individuals and helping individuals. He goes in and tries to get the big companies to see this. He calls it the relationship economy. And when I worked in the corporate realm, I was in public accounting, Big Six of public accounting. Yeah, you had friends, but everything you say as to when you leave, you don't take those. You take that network with you, but that network is somewhat what I'll call incestuous, in that everybody knows everybody, but they don't know people on the outside, and it becomes a challenge. It becomes a real challenge.
When I started the networking way back in the day, I did not have a lot of people to whom to refer people. So when I was networking with somebody and they had an ask of me, I had a limited network that I could direct them toward. I was not a good resource for them.
Yeah.
I wasn't. So part of me building my network was for the benefit of those in my network, not just for myself.
Yeah. So fast forward 2010, you're at 90% referral-based business. Has that stayed consistent? Has it grown from there? Is it?
It stayed at that level, Frank. There's
Okay.
no reason to back off. I just knew intuitively that that was going to pay off for me. So
Yeah.
when you meet somebody cold, you have a 1% chance of converting that into a client. You have maybe a 30-40% chance of converting people through referrals. But when you get a personal introduction from somebody that knows you, likes you, and trusts you, that can go as high as 80% conversion rate.
Yeah. Yeah. No question.
I'm not a gambler, but I like those numbers. And
Yeah. Well,
it's been proven to be true. We live in a world where most people are preoccupied with driving their sales funnel through social media. We have to build a lot of social proof. And at the same time, people are asked to make investments in their future with other people with knowing little, nothing about that individual and what they're all about. I get a referral from someone, they've already experienced me, they know me, and they can trust me with the people to whom I'm being referred, that I will serve them well. And I come second in that kind of discussion. People want to work with people they know care about them. Networks can bring in those kinds of people, Frank.
No, you're preaching to the choir on that. I think it's refreshing to know that you're out there talking with people and helping them with these sorts of things. Any great success stories you could share?
In what way, Frank? What would you like to know?
People, the Frank Agans of the world that come out of a corporate environment, and you enlighten them, and it is enlightening to know, to know how big the world can be and really how to tap into it.
As we mentioned before, most people coming out of corporate America don't have a big network. And therefore, if they are going to explore what else they can do with their careers, for example, the information lies with other people that are in fields into which they may want to work. So they have to get out and get people talking to them and sharing with them the realities of those worlds, whether it's pharmaceuticals, insurance, bioengineering, medicine, whatever it might be. They need to hear the truth from other people. Well, unless you network properly, unless you serve other people and help them, they're going to be reluctant to open their kimono up and share with you what you need to know to make informed decisions about your future.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I totally agree. So they read the Go Giver book. What do you have, exercises that they'll do as well, or assignments, if you will?
I'm a firm believer that Frank, back in the day when you were selling product, as I did, if I didn't know my product, I was less likely to be effective in selling my product. So I had to have a lot of product knowledge about my product in order to address some of the questions and concerns that buyers might have. Well, it's the same way when you're networking. You have to know who you are. What are your values? What do you stand for? The old why question. What's your why? What are your beliefs? All of this is important because it says who you are. People buy you, Frank. They don't buy your company.
Right.
They buy you. So therefore, if I don't know who I am, therefore I cannot serve in the best possible way. So I need to be very clear about me, what my mission, vision, and purpose might be, communicate that succinctly to somebody, and then begin asking them a lot of questions so I can understand first how I may be of service to them, but at the same time, I'm understanding, are they relevant to what I'm trying to do? Can they be of help to me? Because the goal is to get the other person to say, Charlie, what can I do to help you?
Right.
That's the goal. When they ask you that question, then you know you're having a breakthrough with them.
How did the pandemic lockdown impact the people you work with?
First of all, networking became absolutely necessary because they were not meeting in face-to-face. I encouraged them to join a wide variety of online networking groups. So they expanded the people that would be helpful to them along the way. What we talked about was how do you work in a virtual world to get people to know and trust you? And it's more about finding out about them, helping them, than it is about telling your story to them and just trying to get them to refer you. People don't know you by the answers you give, Frank. They know you by the questions you ask. Those questions signal to people this person is for real. They seem to know what they're talking about. That builds the confidence and trust in you for people to be able to help you. So by reaching beyond geographic borders, they then they have contacts with people all across the country. Frank, you were not in my world before the pandemic. And through a series of connections that we made, people felt comfortable enough saying, you should meet Frank. That's how we met, through someone else's referral to you.
Oh, and you and I have talked a couple times, and it's like we know each other, right? I mean, it's you just kind of get that general sense of comfort or familiarity with somebody, and it happens quickly. And it's
we share a lot of values, Frank, and that's what research has indicated. People want to work with, partner with individuals that see the world the way they do, have a vision, and also share values that will make those relationships and partnerships profitable for all parties.
Yeah, I totally agree. We've kind of talked about it, but let's shift gears and let's talk about your practice, your clients, who you're looking for, how the audience can help you.
Well, Frank, I work with three types of people. They're at the director and vice president level and up.
Okay.
They've been in key strategic roles within their organizations. They understand how business functions. They understand the difference between tactical and strategic. And they fall into one of four categories. They're a group of people they're in a seat in a company. They've come to the realization that this is not what they want to do anymore. Whether it's fatigue, whether they've hit what is called the J curve, they're at the top of it and they're beginning to decline. They have to do something different. And they don't know how to go about doing that because they've been encapsulated in this industry in which they have worked. They may want to go out and look for greener pastures. They need some help in figuring it all out. I can help them do that. Second group is someone that is between jobs. They've either voluntarily or involuntarily separated themselves from the jobs, and they need to go find another job. I like to work with purpose-driven people at an age in life, probably over 50, where they want to make a serious contribution. They want to leave a mark. They are living beyond the grind, if you will. That's what they want to do. My job is to help them figure all of that out. The third group are consultants, coaches, or solopreneurs who've decided to leave corporate world behind. They're going to go out and do their thing, whatever it might be. They're about 6 months or 8 months into that venture, the pipeline is not filling up. I hear them say to me, well, I just need more SEO on my website. I need a better email marketing campaign. I've made a determination that these particular people, they don't know who they are. They don't know the special sauce that they can deliver. And what's happening is people are not buying into them. Forget the services they offer. Those particular people really need to pause and figure out, who am I and what value can I deliver to which particular audiences who are willing to pay me what I am worth. And then the last group are the people who are, their work life is sort of coming to an end. They've made a determination in a couple of years that chances are they'll move on to retirement. I say to you, what will you do in retirement? Well, we're going to travel. We're going to have a lot of fun, play a lot of golf, play a lot of tennis. I said, great. In month 3, once you've done all that, what are you going to do? And there's blank stares. They smile because they don't have a plan for how they're going to spend the next 20 years of their life.
Yeah.
And they have all of this valuable knowledge, experience, talent, wisdom to share, and they don't know what to do. I love to work with those kind of people because they're going to make a big impact in that second half, or what I call Act 2 of their life. They're the kinds of folks that I can help, Frank.
Okay, great. Well, I appreciate your time today. What's the best way for the audience to get a hold of you?
Simply find me on LinkedIn, reach out to me. Happy to get in contact with them.
Okay, I will.
We'll have a brief conversation, figure out what's going on in their life, and figure out if I, or again, someone in my network may be of value to them.
I will. I'll put your LinkedIn profile in the show notes, that URL in the show notes.
There we are. That's perfect.
All right, thank you.
Well, Frank, how can I help you?
Good question. We will talk. We will talk again.
All right,
Thanks.
Frank. Thank you so much. Appreciate it.
Thanks for joining us on the Networking RX podcast. Please put what you've learned into action today and let us know if you have questions, comments, or ideas for future topics. You can email them to us at podcast@amspirit.com. That's AMSPIRIT.com. Finally, so you never miss an episode, be sure to subscribe to the Networking RX podcast through iTunes, Overcast, or however you receive your podcasts. Now get out and network with someone.
The Networking RX podcast is the copyright production of AmSpirit Business Connection. All rights reserved.